So in the today's session, like what we are going to do is, so now here we are going to create one EC2 instance. On top of that, we'll install one website and we'll deploy a static website also. Mostly in the real time, a web designer or a full stack developer will give the static web content, and in order to deploy that required a web server, and for that we are taking an EC2 instance. So now here I'll take Amazon Linux I have taken. Okay. So then here Amazon Linux we have a different 2023. Previously Amazon Linux 2 like these are 2023. So like this we have the AMIs like Ubuntu having 2004, 2204 or 2404 like this. So now here we have like we have the instance type, we are going to choose t2.micro and I'm going to create a new key pair. Okay, so then I'm downloading that key pair. After that, I'm going to create even HTTP also directly I'm opening instead of again opening that. Okay, so now once we connect to the instance, I'm going to run some commands, right? Before connecting to that itself, I can run some scripts. Any idea what is the solution we need to use in AWS for that?
We can use putty.
There is a user files, I think, in advanced.
Yeah, user data we need to use.
Yes, yes, use data.
Okay. So previously, we used to write the shell or bash scripts, but now we directly we can copy that script or we can copy the commands also. So that's in the advanced options. Here we have the user data. So in the in the advanced options, we have that user data. So in this user data, we can upload the script also, or we can give the commands. Okay. So what is your understanding of user data is at the time of instance provisioning itself, if you want to do any automation, like at the time of initialization itself or launch itself, if you want to perform, then we are going to use the user data. So then I'm going to use the user data. That's we'll discuss today. I'll do the manually. In the next session, all these steps we can do at the time of user data itself. Okay, so then that instance is getting created. We got the instance ID and I'll connect you to that instance. So here we have this instance. Then I'm going to use putty gen because I need to convert that
PFM file to PPK.
FM to PPK. Okay, so there is not mandatory. We need to give the same name. Then I need to copy that public IP. Putty. So public IP I'm connecting. SH, authentication, credentials. So this is the PPK file. So now this is Amazon Linux, right? Hence the username is EC2 hyphen user. So I'm increasing just that font size. Okay, so then on this, I'm going to install either nginx or Apache we can install. First, what is that? M is so for Amazon Linux, like Red Hat, M is a packager. For Debian or Ubuntu, so what is our packager?
APT.
Come again?
Ubuntu.
APT.
Yeah, APT is that. Okay, so APT app or apt we can call. Apt is our packager. Okay, so then say first I'm going to do the M update. All the packages are getting updated also. Then I'm going to install sudo M install. Like here, the package name is HTTPD. Okay, if I don't give -y, what is going to happen? It prompt me for this. If I don't want that prompt, I can give -y. As I didn't give that -y, it prompt me for yes or no. I click yes itself, then sudo service HTTPD status. So now, sorry, there is a typo. Now, in the Ubuntu or Debian kind of flavors, by default, that service is getting started. But in the Amazon Linux, that service not got started because here, if you see, it's inactive or dead kind of state. Okay, it's a inactive or dead kind of state. So then here we need to take care. I'll start that sudo service HTTPD. Okay, so what I need to do here? Sudo service HTTPD.
Start or restart.
Yeah, I need to make it stop here. Sorry, start. HTTPD. I'm going to start that. Okay, so then I'll again check that. So what is the main advantage of the service for the administrator is like service is a watchdog kind of thing. If you have any problem, okay, with that functionality, or if there is any issue with that functionality or that product, that service won't start. Means that gives the hint to that administrators. What is the hint it is giving? We have an issue with the product. Okay, so that's the reason we need to check sudo service HTTPD.
Progress.
Say, I'm going to check the status. Now that is active and running. Okay, so that means if you have any problem, like maybe dependencies are not running or any database connections or any code dumps, crashes or CPU memory is not enough. So in that use cases, that service may not start. Okay, if any of the application services not starting also, so we should able to troubleshoot. Okay, so that doesn't mean we are going to do the start kind of thing, but even if you try to start or restart also, that's not working, then we need to able to provide the support also for that kind of issues also. Then now what I'm doing is systemctl enable, like it's not nginx, it's HTTPD I'm going to enable. Okay, so now what is that systemctl is doing? What is that systemctl is doing?
It startups at boot time.
Yeah, at the
This
time of boot
service.
up itself is going to start. Otherwise, each and every time we need to make it start. Okay, so that is the advantage by enabling this. So now what I'm going to do is I'll check that IP address in the browser because already I have opened that security group. Now it's going to open for us. But it's maybe default, it's showing that index page they kept as a so IIS, we see the IIS page or Amazon Ubuntu kind of page we have seen, right? But here it's what they're displaying is just that it works like that. That means its web server is working. But what is my requirement is to show, to see this page I'm not deploying. I want to deploy my own application. It's my own application I need to deploy. So for that purpose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the sorry, I want to copy my static website. Normally, our web designer or full stack developer will give that one for us, and he may keep that in the GitHub. We'll download from the GitHub. But as of now, I'm going to use one static website. Say you can also download static website. Uh, Download. Okay, so now here, if free static website you can keep. Okay, it's a free static website. If you go, the template is not coming. 1 second. Shall check this one, no problem. So these are all the different website templates. We'll see whether those will download or not. Not this one. 1 second. So normally we required web server, all these web pages, all these we required. I'll try to download this. Yeah, so this iPortfolio they have given. I'll try to export all that. Maybe they given in the unzip I'm using. Yeah. So now iPortfolio. So in this, what we should have is we required index.html. Okay. So portfolio service.html, and we'll have CSS. All these we required. These details. Okay. So then I'm going to keep iPortfolio kind of thing. I'll try to keep this in my document somewhere. Okay, so then what I need to do is I want to copy that one from, so I want to copy this one from the, where are my files? In my Windows I have, I want to copy to Linux. Okay, so in order to copy the files from Windows to Linux, there are a lot of tools. In this scenario, I'm going to use WinSCP, just like Putty we have. So WinSCP or FileZilla, Qt there are a lot of tools are there. Say from the Windows to Linux or vice versa also. That means from Linux to Windows also we can copy the files. Okay, so now here I'm keeping in my documents folder, I want to copy. I think it's not copied properly. An update on that. Okay. So here we have this folder, right? This I want to copy. Then for that, what I'm trying to install is uh, WinSCP I'm going to use. Okay. So WinSCP, I need to install the WinSCP here. So from the search, I can open that. If you don't have WinSCP, just you can install just like a small software, putty kind of software. Okay. So then here in this WinSCP, what I need to enter is, okay, I need to enter my uh, IP address. So I need to enter my IP address. I need to enter. So this is the my IP address. So in the WinSCP, I'm going to enter this IP address. Then what is the username? EC2-user. And what is the password? What is the, yeah, we don't have the password, right? So we need to go to advanced options here. Okay, so there in the SSH authentication, we can copy to that. So we can copy to that. And what we need to give is, we need to give the PPK itself. Even WinSCP also require the PPK itself. I'm going to connect to this. So now what I'm trying to do is, like from my Windows, I'm connecting to my Linux. So left side, all these files are called as Windows files, and these files are called as Linux files. Then I think in my documents, I kept this iPortfolio. I'll try to rename this one. Okay, so I kept the iPortfolio. This I'm trying to copy to home EC2 user. Just I can do copy paste kind of thing. I can do copy paste kind of thing, but I don't want to copy to home EC2 user. I said one folder, right, for the nginx or Amazon Linux. What is that folder?
Where www
Yeah, where
HTTP.
HTML I want to copy. So then here, all these are the Linux files we have. Okay, so I went to where, not YP, 1 second, it is hiding. Yeah. So in the where I have www, then HTML. I just want to copy this portfolio to this directory, but I'll get one warning or error because I don't have the permission. Because when I try to copy to like my default home directory is home EC2 user. For that directory have the permissions, but for the EC2 user we don't have the permissions to copy to var www HTML. Okay, so then in that use case, what we are going to do is var www HTML. What we need to do is, like we
You
need
need
to
to give
we need to give
permissions.
the permissions. Okay, so normally in the real time, that is also not a best practice to give that. Okay, we will create a group and will to the group will add the permissions. But as of now, I'm adding var www HTML. I'm going to add. Okay, so then in this use case, I'm trying to retry that. Now those files are getting copied. Those files are getting copied into into that web server, then I can access that website also. Then, previously we used to get from another directory, but here a lot of files are there. Let it copy. So then what we need to do is, like we need to go to that web server. Say here, instead of this, portfolio, and here it's Linux, right? It's case sensitive. Okay, still those files are not getting copied. We may get an error kind of thing, or 404, 403, or we may get even that folder kind of thing also. Once that index all those copies, we can open. By default, the web page which is opening for us is that index.html is getting open for us. Okay, that index.html will open. Yeah, so that's seems all the files copied. Then that portfolio page, what we have opened, like what we have deployed, is getting opened now. Okay, so even in the real time also, we require basic knowledge on HTML, CSS, all those. But normally web designer is going to develop that. The web designer is going to develop, and depends upon the usage, we are going to use that. Okay. So in the same way, we can download even here. I'll share this website template. Okay. So what you can do is, which of the template you like it, the template you can deploy also. Yeah, I shared that in the chat. Okay, so which template you like it, that's we can deploy. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, so in the instance state, I can stop, or I can terminate also. So now here I'll show one feature. At the time of instance provisioning, in the advanced options, we have termination protection we can enable, right? In the advanced options, we enable the termination protection, but already I have instance has been created. Then what I can do here is actions, instance settings. Then here we have change termination protection. That means at the time of creation, I didn't enabled.
Change termination is not
Now
mentioned.
I'm trying to
Enabled.
enable this. So if I enable this kind of accidental termination protection, what is going to happen is I'll try and go to terminate that. It won't terminate for us because failed to terminate that because
We are enabled for that.
it's like a termination, accidental termination protection. We have then here change termination protection. I'm stopping this. Then if you want,
Then
but
we
for the
can
protections, don't do this without having the approvals. Okay. So how people can identify from which service they can identify you only deleted that instance?
so they mention on the email, right? Which server we can disconnect, for which server is not that particular
So who deleted that
registry.
instance, from where we can track that?
Maybe CloudWatch.
Not from CloudWatch. cloud trial, that is.
Okay.
All administrative events, are going to be recorded from the
Cloud trial. Also,
cloud.
there is when they are terminate that time also they are
But we shouldn't log in
so
as the root user. If everyone log in as the root user, then even if it shows as the root user also, no problem, no use. So that is the reason in the real time every user need to log in as IAM user itself. They need to log in. Every user need to log in as IAM user,
I
Root.
not as the
okay.
root account. Okay, so now here I'll show that also where we can get that all the details. So you can search for cloud trial. You can search for the cloud trial. So if you go to the cloud trial, so you no need to create a trial also. So here we have this all the events by default they're going to record here. So I terminated one instance, right? Okay, so all those details have been recorded and with which user. So now here, if you got it as a root user, there is no use. Better to get it from that particular IAM user. We should get in the real time.
No? Nina, una.
Okay?
Adiga.
Yeah, any doubts on this?
Dong Nana.
Yeah, any doubts?
No. So Srikant, this is a real time scenario which we are doing, right? So in company also it is working as the same. So when
No,
we
no,
are
we
doing
don't
the
get
POC, we
access for
create
all
one
these in the
server
real
issue.
time. We don't get this much access also. Okay,
Okay.
so we'll have
So
very
there is
limited
some
access in the
restriction,
real
right?
time. Yeah. So even in the production, if you create an instance also without having an approval, they will send a mail also why you have created without having the approvals.
Okay.
So it depends upon our requirements only. We need to create. So whatever we are doing,
Okay.
even in the
So
real time also, we'll do the same thing. We don't do anything special in the real time. But that should be approved and those steps we need to follow.
okay.
Okay, so the use case deployments also, maybe instead of T2 micro, we may take a high-end kind of servers and going forward we'll enable auto scaling, all that we can do.
Work is the same in the company
Yes, yes,
also.
almost what that scenarios itself we'll discuss, but still we are in the early stage.
Yes, I know, but
Yeah, that use cases itself we are discussing.
okay. Any application is there?
Yeah, that's we deployed, right, an application.
Okay.
And now here this is the application only.
Okay.
So that's maybe any React kind of or Bootstrap. This is a Bootstrap kind of application. Okay, or Angular kind of app. All those we can deploy on our web servers. The
Okay.
same thing we can do even from the IAS wise also.
Okay.
Okay, so then I'll take one EC2 instance. So I have terminated this instance. I think previously we have this Windows also. I'll try to terminate. We'll create a new. So in the real time, we don't provision like this through GUI. We'll use through Terraform itself.
Okay. Actually, all classes is same frequently using of same things.
Yes, yes, but we are doing new things, right, on that instance provisioning.
Okay.
Say here, once we create the instance, we
Okay.
deployed a website on that. Okay, so then here, if I go for my Windows, I'll take a Windows server. On top of that, IAS also, I'll deploy that. Okay, so I'll deploy a website on top of that. Then I can use the same
Keep it.
pair
So,
also.
yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, so Amazon Linux is the previous keeper I have created, and 3389 and HTTP also I'm opening. So 30 GB of the storage. I'm going to launch the instance. Say suppose here if you want to see, we can use accidental termination. If you want here also, we can select. Otherwise, in the previous one, I created, like at the time of instance actions also, we can choose that termination
Nonsense.
protection.
Yes.
So in the interview, so what kind of scenario they are asked in this
Yeah. Say that
server,
instance
or like
set, what is the
whatever we.
instance type, security group. Okay. Say
Okay. Okay.
then what are the different type of instance types we have, regions, zones. So from these topics, these are the scenarios they will ask us. Okay. And if you lost the key pair, how to connect to that?
Okay.
Say if we lost the key pair, then how we can connect to that, and different ways of connecting to the EC2 instance. Okay. Then from the networking wise also, they'll have the questions.
Okay.
What is two-tier, three-tier, n-tier kind of architectures, and to deploy that kind of three-tier or n-tier kind of architecture, how you are going to design all the components. Okay, so now here we got that instance. So then I'm going to go to connect. Then through RDP client we are connecting, even through SSM session manager, or we can do serial console also we can connect. Going forward we'll see. But I'm as of now I'm showing that traditional methods. So password is what they're telling is it takes minimum
4 11.
4 minutes we need to wait. Again I'll go to
In
connect.
this session, it is not necessary, right? So here we are not using putty to so putting in
No need.
putty
Putty nowhere related to RDP. Okay, so only for Linux we required putty.
okay. So RDP client, so
Yeah,
what
RDP
is the
client
like
itself we are opening here.
what is
If,
the
I type here MSTSC, right? This is the remote desktop
okay.
client itself. With the Windows, what happens is it
Mhm.
comes inbuilt.
Okay, okay, okay,
Okay, so that's we can open that with MSTSC.
okay, okay.
So by default with the Windows, we are getting this connection. We don't need explicitly to install.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm open. Say here we can enter that public IP.
So it is showing that SSM agent was unable
Yeah,
to
that
connect,
I'll
right?
explain. That is the another way of connecting to that. But first we'll connect to the traditional way.
Okay.
Say SSM everyone doesn't use. This is the traditional way most of the people will use. And for the Windows, what is like
Username
username?
is
Username
administrator.
is
Administrator.
Administrator is a
administrator,
default
and we need to get that password. We need to get.
from RDP
I'll
client.
go to RDP client, then get that password. I need to upload that PEM file.
Same file. Yes.
Yeah, Amazon dot pem I have given there. Then I need to click on the decrypt that.
Decrypt.
Then I need to decrypt that. I got that password. Okay, so then I'll go to this mission password. And in the security group, it's mandatory 3389. We need to open. Okay, so that's need to connect. One second. I'll check that instance AMI. Yeah, this is full base itself. Because if I have a core, what is the problem is we don't get the GUI kind of thing. Yeah, so that is not the core edition. We got the GUI. Then what we are trying to do is we'll go to server manager. This would be very slow because we have only one CPU and 1 GB RAM is very low to that Windows server kind of thing. In the real time, we'll have a very high-end kind of hardware. Yeah, here we got the server manager, right? So go to that server manager. Okay, so in the server manager, what we need to do is we need to add that roles. Okay, so here we need to go for add roles and features. So in this, we need to deploy web server role. So it is waiting for collect all the data. So instead of these all on the Windows server level, instead of doing this through GUI, we can use PowerShell kind of scripts also. On the Linux machine, we can use Shell or Bash or Python kind of thing. On Windows, mostly they'll use PowerShell scripts or commandlets we can use. Yeah. So now here I got that server manager. And what is this Windows Server can do is Windows Server can do lot of roles. Okay. That depends upon our requirement. We need to make it that Windows Server for different roles we can use. So now in this use case, what I'm trying to do is I'm making it as a web server. I can make it as a domain controller if I choose Active Directory domain services, or I can use DHCP server, DNS server, Hyper-V. Okay, say remote desktop servers or remote access we can provide. Then even Windows WDS. So these all the different roles a Windows server can do. But as of now, why we are using this is for the web server. Okay, so then web server I have chosen, and .NET we have backward compatibility. We want that 3.5 also we can choose. Then I'm going to install that package. So this IIS need to install. Once IIS has been installed, then we are going to do like we are going to deploy that website into that. Say in the IIS, what is the path we need to copy? Like in the
See the
C
inet pub
inet pub
www root.
Yeah, in that we need to copy that. So that should be installed. So then I'll check that C drive also. So this server performance is very poor. So why we can't take a high-end server here? Why we are not taking the high-end server?
So, like
Because it's expensive. So now here inet pub. So here we'll get that www root also. Yeah, here we got this www root, right? Say in this normally we have seen the IAS page, right? That IAS page is this page is opened. Okay, so previously we see when I open that IP address, I see in that web page. Now to this directory, I want to copy my website. I have in my local desktop, right? What is the advantage with the Windows RDP is clipboard operations directly we can do. What is that meaning? So I have this in my portfolio, something is in my
Host.
yeah in my host mission, right? Here in my downloads directory, I have that portfolio folder I have. What I can do is I can directly copy this one and I'm going to paste here. So I no need of any WinSCP kind of tools. So I copied there, and if over the RDP itself it's supported. But Windows to Linux or Linux to Windows, if we want to copy, then we need to keep,
WinSCP.
the WinSCP kind of software we need to use. So WinSCP kind of software we need to use for that. So once it is copied, let it copy. Then what I can do is I'm from my host mission, I'm trying to access that IP address. So now here I'll go to this IP address. Okay, so if I type only that IP address, what is going to happen is I'll get that IAS page itself. Okay, 1 second. Three dot 89 dot. Still that installation is not done. Normally it won't take that much time. So once installation is successful, we'll get that IAS page. Yep. So now installation got succeeded. Then I'm closing. Okay. So then, sorry, I copied to www. Yeah, it's copied to www root itself. Then I'll try to open this web page. And in the security group also, we need to open. In the security group also, we need to open the HTTP port
Okay.
also for this. HTTP port also we need to open. We want to restart that IAS. We have normal one command IAS. Reset is the command we can use. Yeah. So now here we are getting that IAS page. Then in this portfolio. So if you observe here in the Linux, it doesn't accepted that case sensitive. Okay, but Windows it's fine for that. The same web server, okay. All the web servers are only for the same purpose. Means even if you take nginx or Apache or IIS, okay. So in the last session I installed nginx, right? Okay, or maybe Apache on top of Ubuntu. This time we took on the Amazon Linux. On top of this, I have set up the Apache HTTPD. Even if you take the nginx also in the same way, we need to deploy. But the same website I have deployed on top of IAS also I have set up. Okay, on top of IAS also I have set up that. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts?
No, Srikant.
Okay, so we are not doing the same thing. Even in the job also, every day we need to connect to the instances, right? Okay, so that means
Yeah.
we need to connect to the instance, then only we can work. But I'm instead of keeping the same instance, what I'm doing is every day we are terminating, connecting to the new instance because you will get a more idea. That is the reason we are connecting.
Those is cloud is depending this only.
No, no, not like that. Say this, we required a Windows server or Linux server. Very long back, we have the physical mission. If we want to install to the Linux server or Windows servers, we require very high-end server kind of hardware. That's very expensive. And
Okay.
we need to install the OS on top of that. But without doing anything from the cloud, say suppose for this web server to deploy, we didn't take any hardware, right? And we didn't
Yes.
install any OS. And
Yes.
we didn't configure most of the OS settings, all that. Everything has been taken care by the cloud. Even in the virtual machines or in the physical servers also, we used to do the same thing.
Okay.
But that is expensive kind of thing.
Yes. Okay. Actual cloud man AWS is all things including this only.
No, no.
Mm.
This is the computing kind of resources. We have vast services, right? So we have networking related, we have storage related, we have
Yes, I can understand.
databases. Yeah. So as of now, we are discussing from the computing part.
Okay.
So going forward, we'll discuss from the
Added some
from the
new.
VPC, IAM, those
Okay.
all we'll discuss.
Okay.
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 They try to deploy the websites, but this is a static website itself. Going forward, what we need to do is, say maybe we'll take a dynamic kind of applications also there for deployment. Very old stack is LAMP stack we have. Say LA, MP, L stands for Linux, A stands for Apache. Apache is nothing but the web server we install, right? HTTPD. M stands for MySQL and P stands for PHP. So previously, 90% of the websites has been deployed on top of LAMP stack itself.
Okay.
Okay, among those, what is the web server we have is either Apache or nginx we can use. And Linux is our operating system. And what is MySQL?
This database
It's
is
a RDS, relational database. And the PHP is for the backend application logic. We used to say, suppose in this application, what we have deployed, it's a just dummy application. It's a static web content. For that, web server is enough. But if we want to deploy any dynamic kind of applications, then we need application servers also we required and that programming language. Say normally, if I go for it, the same thing with the Java based application, I may have Linux, then I may have Tomcat, then MySQL or Postgre, then we have Java would be there. Programming language would be Java would be there. Okay. Then if I go for .NET, then maybe Windows we have, then IIS, then database would be SQL Server, MS SQL Server. Then it's going to be running on either C Sharp or .NET, it would be running. Either on the C Sharp or .NET that would be running. That depends upon the application technology stack. We are going to choose which type of instances and how many users are accessing. According to that, we are going to select like which operating system we want, whether Linux we want, Windows we want. Again, in Linux, there are a lot of flavors. All these architecture will design. According to that, we need to provision. So going forward, we'll deploy Tomcat also on .NET base also applications on IaaS. Then even LAMP also will try to deploy. And even the advanced new tech stacks we have, okay, so we have a Mern stack we have or Mean stack also we have. So this is also the advanced tech stack itself. Okay, so M stands for MongoDB, then E stands for Express.js, then R stands for React.js, then N stands for Node.js. So in this, what is the programming language? Just like Java, .NET, PHP, what is the programming language there?
React.js.
No. React.js is for front end. What is the backend? Backend business logic is running on.
Node.js.
Node.js.
Node.js is the backend. Okay, MongoDB is it's not a relational database, but we are using that as a NoSQL kind of database we are using. Okay. Yeah, any doubts on this? So these all the tech stacks also. For that also we require the computing. But then the old method itself is taking the EC2 instances also. In the cloud, we can go for serverless and even we can go for containers using Docker kind of things or ECS or Kubernetes like EKS. Those are the new kind of thing. But the old method itself is we are taking the EC2 instances, on top of that we are deploying. Okay, going forward, we'll deploy on the containers, we'll deploy on the Kubernetes also, we'll deploy. Okay, but all not happen in a 1 week. It's not possible. It takes some time, and step by step we can discuss all this. Okay.
So it's also like one SSM is pending. So tomorrow it may be completed so that
I didn't get you, Manoj. Your voice is very low always.
no, I'm asking about the SSM.
Yeah, SSM will discuss
Okay.
because priority wise, I'm going.
Okay.
Okay, so priority and interview wise and concept wise, I know the priority. According to that, SSM also is one way of connection to that. But
Okay.
we need to have SSM agent before the itself that instance should have.
No.
Okay, so we'll connect. That's also not a big issue. Say to the instance creation, connection, all this shouldn't be an issue for us. Very frequently, we should be doing all this. Okay, on top of that, we are doing more automation. Okay.
So, is it possible to take one revision or whatever we are covered in weekend or
Sure. So that's the reason every time I'm asking any questions, you can ask there if you have any questions on that. And go through the videos also. Again, already we shared, right?
yes.
All those videos
So,
you go through and you prepare what are the queries we have that we'll discuss.
okay.
Instead of again repeating the same class,
Okay.
you just go through all those videos and write down your points. Okay.
Okay.
For discussion, I'm very much available. That's in the session you can ask anything. I'm available at this moment. Even if it extends also, no issue to me.
No, means like this is the like
That is
revision.
again, instead of again repeating, we have those videos, right?
Yeah.
You go through that and you write down the points what you have the doubts.
Okay.
So that's anyhow you'll be doing the revision also, right?
Yes.
So on top of that we can discuss.
Okay.
Okay. Even other sessions videos also I'm sharing, that also go through, because if anything missed here, that should be covered there. And even their questions may be different, and that's also adds value.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Shrikant,
Yeah,
could you please post this today's recording session
sure. I'll
in the
share.
chat,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be helpful for the practicing.
Sure, definitely. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.